Hey everybody, welcome back to Dental Unfiltered. I'm Matt Brown, and we're here with my normal co-host, Dr. Andrew Vallo. I just want to mention something. Dr. Vallo is just talking crap, thinking he can beat me in a fight. And I'm sure all the listeners know that the ex-special ops guy who's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt will tie the dentist up in knots. So Dr. Vallo is delusional. Let's get on to the next. We're working on some really cool episodes today, and this one,
Fight, Matt.
because you haven't been in any, Andrew. You haven't ever been in a physical conflict. You're unproven.
Seen my hand?
What about it?
Or you see that scar there? Where do you think I got that scar from? Anyways,
You won one fight and you broke your hand and got damaged. Oh, that's exciting. Anyway, let's get into this. CEO decisions. And I'm a chief revenue officer, not a CEO, over at Energize Group and at Dental Unfiltered and at Zero. Ryan Raybould is our amazing CEO. So I don't make CEO decisions, but I make a lot of chief revenue officers decisions for those two companies because I'm in the C-suite. But Andrew, you went from chair really to like small group practice owner to like full on blown large organization CEO. So let's talk about some of the CEO decisions that you've had to make.
what I kind of had in mind for today, rather than to get into too many specifics about the decisions that I've made, I want to talk more about how I approach decisions as a CEO and maybe even like some of the decisions that I don't even want to make. So I think this will make more sense, here in a little bit. But basically, something that I've realized over the years from talking to other dentists, other business owners, other CEOs, one of my skill sets, one of my like superpowers, is knowing what to focus on, and I think it's strategy. It's knowing what not to focus on. I've talked about bandwidth on here a little bit, but like decision fatigue is a real thing. I mean, there have been scientific studies done on this. This is why some of like the most famous, CEOs and business owners and some of the wealthiest people in the world, like this is why they do things like wear the same black shirt every single day, eat the same breakfast every single day. It's because it's one less active decision they have to make. And if you think about it, you can think about your decisions, capability, your decision fatigue. Like you can think about it like maybe like say a jar of marbles. You wake up in the morning and you've got so many marbles in this jar. But every single time that you've got to make a decision, you're taking a marble out. And like your brain, it doesn't really distinguish between, hey, was that like an important decision or not an important decision? It was just like, it knows that you had to think about something and you had to decide. Picture two different mornings. Morning A, you got a CEO, let's call him Jack. And, Jack doesn't have a set wake up time. He doesn't have a set morning routine. Some days he goes to the gym. Some days he doesn't. Just kind of depends on what he's feeling like. So, like maybe an alarm goes off and he wakes up and he thinks to himself, do I want to get up now or do I want to snooze my alarm and go back to sleep? Do I want to go to the gym or do I want to stay in bed? And so he's already making decisions before he even got his butt out of bed in the morning. And, let's say he, this is a choose your own destiny. So let's say he decides, you know what, I'm going to be good today. I'm going to go to the gym. So he gets out, he turns off his alarm. He goes in his closet. He's like, oh, what do I want to wear to the gym today? And so he's, looking through gym clothes or whatever, trying to figure it out. And he gets to the gym and he doesn't have like a set workout routine necessarily. What do I want to lift today? What exercise do I want to do today? And he comes home from the gym and some days he eats breakfast, some days he doesn't. Some days he has pancakes, sometimes he has eggs. Sometimes he stops for breakfast on the way. And so he's thinking like, what do I want to do about breakfast? Do I want breakfast? Do I not want breakfast? What do I want to eat for breakfast? He has breakfast and he takes a shower and then, he heads in the office to go start to work. And he is trying to decide, what should I work on today? Should I work on something for marketing? Should I work on this new system we're trying to roll out? Should I call an impromptu meeting, with some of our executives to discuss this HR issue that's going on? But he doesn't have like a set to-do list. He doesn't really know like where he should be focusing his time. and it's 10 a.m. and like Jack's already like emotionally exhausted because he's made so many decisions, and like not a single one has really had any impact on his business whatsoever. And he goes in the afternoon and he's just spent, man. You know those days where it's just like your brain is just in a million different places and you can't even focus on one task. And, you can't do any of that deep work. You can't make any progress. And you go home and you're just like, what the hell did I even do? But yet, like, you were up, you were doing stuff, you were gone all day, but you got like nothing accomplished. Now let's converse that idea with another CEO, and we'll call this one Joey. So Joey gets up, he's got a set routine every day, 5:30, alarm goes off, he goes to gym. He's already got his gym clothes sets out. He bought 5 of the same set of gym clothes. Everyone at the gym thinks he stinks and wears the same clothes every day, but who cares? He's already got the clothes set out. He gets up, he gets out of bed. He's not thinking about anything. He puts the gym clothes on. He gets in the car. He drives to the gym. He's on a 5-day rotation of, his lifts. And so today's shoulder day. So he's not even thinking about what he's going to lift. Maybe he's listening to a podcast or whatever. He's doing his shoulder day. He leaves the gym. Jack does the intermittent fasting, so he doesn't eat breakfast. So he doesn't even have to think about it because he knows he's not going to eat until he has his lunch at 1 p.m. So he leaves the gym, comes home, has the same t-shirt he wears every day to go in the office, throws it on, gets in his car, drives to the office. He has a to-do list set out for exactly what he needs to work on throughout the day, and he's even assigned, chunks of time, to different times of the day. Joey's essentially made 0 decisions. His whole day is a routine. And like, you might be sitting there thinking like, this sounds boring. This sounds like Joey's a robot. And I get it, man. And in a sense, it kind of is. But again, like studies have shown like this type of behavior, this type of repetition, like this battles decision fatigue so dramatically. You can see such improved performance in your job as your CEO and your role of your company if you're not having to make a million little damn decisions every single, especially ones that don't matter about your personal life, like what you should wear. Get in that routine. So like that, I guess that's my first tip about this.
2 things. One, the whole jar analogy, I think that's used in a lot of psychology. So for me and like my fellow friends who are military that have like PTSD and stuff, the analogy they use with us for us losing our patience and us struggling to like get through the day with stress is like you have like pennies in your hand, like 5 pennies. And like you wake up in the morning and you trip and fall. There goes 1 penny. I wake up in the morning and my leg isn't fitting right. There goes another penny. It's kind of the same thing. It's mental fatigue from stress or decisions, right? And I think going to a really good example of this, Steve Jobs wore the same thing every day.
Yep. Yeah, that was one of the people I was thinking about.
Like the guy literally wore the same thing every day, did the same thing every day.
The same breakfast every day. I mean, like guys, this isn't just shit that I'm making up. Like this is like,
no, this is real.
Taking from real successful people that have like refined their daily routines.
I can tell you my routine. I get up when my kids get up. I get in my wheelchair. I go brush my teeth. I get my shower. I roll over to my dresser. I have 3 t-shirt drawers. I reach in and I grab one. I don't even look. I throw it on the bed. I throw my shorts on the bed. I roll over and put them on, and I'm surprised by what t-shirt I picked because I can never see the logo until I get it out of the dresser. And part of that is I'm too lazy to fold them and put them back in. And then I get to my desk at 8 a.m. I do all my communication for the day, and then I roll into my day and I remove all that morning crap. I believe heavily in decision fatigue. I believe there's lots of things that don't need decisions at all. This is my opinion. If the decision doesn't affect the outcome of your day, the outcome of your future, or anything like that, it shouldn't be a decision, right? Like it shouldn't be. I don't eat breakfast. People think that's crazy, but I'm not a breakfast guy. Like I don't eat breakfast. For lunch, I don't make decisions either. I roll down the steps and I just open the fridge and whatever leftovers are left go in the microwave and they get eaten. And then at night, I'll eat whatever my wife. I'll tell you, the only personal decision I probably make at night is what me and my wife do as far as watch a movie or hang out or play a game after the kids go to bed. I reserve all my decisions for my workday.
And I agree, man. And I think, I'm not perfect in this sense, or I guess I'm not maybe as extreme as some of these, CEOs and founders we've been talking about, but I've gotten a lot more routine than I ever used to be. And it's helped me. It absolutely has helped me with my focus. One of the things that's helped, is having kids, because you kind of don't have a choice, man. Like now my mornings are super routine around certain times that I've got to get my daughter up and feed her, get my son up and get him to school. And so like, if I want to have gym be part of my normal routine, like I got to get up at this time and go to the gym. Otherwise I'm not going to have time to do it. So that has helped me really create a much stricter routine than it used to be. And I've got routines with certain days of the week too. It's like, my son goes to school Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those days, this is exactly the timing that this has to happen. I'm training for my first marathon right now. My long runs are Wednesday morning. So I know Wednesday morning, I have to get up at this time to get this run in before I even get my daughter up to start the rest of my day. Personal life decisions, I think it's super helpful. The other side of this is the decisions you make in your business as CEO. Like, what decisions are you making versus what decisions are you allowing other people to make, and what decisions maybe don't even matter at all. So I'm part of Tower's Advanced Business Mastermind, Tower Leadership in Atlanta with Eric Morin, and I've been working with them for about 15 months now. One of the things that Eric talks about is he talks about leaf, branch, and trunk decisions. So basically, the trunk is the decisions you should be making as CEO. Those are the decisions that are really going to move the business. Those are the core decisions. Those are the decisions you don't want to delegate to anyone else. The branch decisions, those are ones that are less important. And like, maybe you may want some involvement, or you may want like final say, potentially, or it might be a collaborative effort. But in a lot of cases, like, your executive team could be making those decisions. And then there's like leaf decisions. The ones that like literally don't matter at all. Like, let me give you a good example of a leaf decision. What food do you want to order for the office for the lunch that we promised them on Thursday? I don't freaking care. You pick, they pick. Anyone can pick. I am not wasting one of my marbles on that decision. I'm not, I don't even want to think about what I'm going to eat for lunch. You think I want to think about what other people are going to eat for lunch today? Seriously? What flavor Profi paste do you think we should order this month? Mint? I don't know. I think that's the most popular one. But make the damn decision. I want to be fair to my team. I don't get asked these kind of questions very often. I think at this point, I've trained my team to know, don't come to me with a question that my input does not need to be had on. And the same thing happens with meetings. Like, I'll tell we have an executive meeting every Friday. And sometimes they're kind of long. Like, sometimes because to be fair, we're a fast growing company. There's a lot of stuff to discuss. Sometimes they're like 90 minutes. I'll tell my team, hey, I'm showing up for this 30-minute chunk. So whatever you want my input on, let's talk about it during that 30 minutes. And all of those leaf and branch problems, you guys can talk about during the other 60 minutes of the call. Or maybe the leaf problems, you don't even need to be wasting. And honestly, some of that still is happening. Like, I'm still trying to train my executive team on stuff that they shouldn't be wasting their time. And it's like a trickle down effect. It's like, there's decisions that CEO, okay, yes, you should be involved in these, but not these. And then there's decisions like executive team, yes, you should be involved in these, but maybe not so much these. Maybe those decisions can be made by the dental assistant, by the hygienist, whoever. And then even there's certain decisions that's like, maybe no one really needs to make the decision because it's stupid. Like, let's just move on with our day. So,
which one that drives me nuts is I get done my work day and I'm burnt, and I go downstairs and my wife will ask me a decision. Like, she was remodeling the bathroom recently and she asked me 3 colors on the wall. And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And she's like, you don't care about anything. I'm like, no. What makes you happy? I have no opinion about this. My wife gets so frustrated because it's every single thing she wants an opinion on. I'm like, that one. And she's like, why? I was like, because I have to pick one because you're going to pressure me. Well, why are you picking that one? I don't care.
I deal with this a little bit with my wife too. And I've had this conversation. I've kind of tried to explain it to her. I think she understands in a sense, but I think if you're not in the role of CEO of a fast growing company, like I don't think you can truly understand how many decisions can come across your desk on a weekly basis. And I don't think my wife can truly appreciate how many decisions I have to make on a day-to-day basis. That's like when I come home, like, okay, if it's an important decision about something dealing with our kids, like, yeah, obviously I want some input. But like to your point, if it's something minor about something with the house, or like she's like, hey, I'm thinking in the nursery, I'm going to swap the positioning of the rocking chair and the table. And I'm like, go for it. Like, I don't care. Do it. Yeah, that's totally fine. Here's a funny example, actually. We do a lot of deals, a lot of offices, and, a lot of times we buy equipment in a second gen space now. And so this office that we're buying, the broker, I think he kind of knows how I've worked a lot of deals with him now. He's done a lot of the deals that we've done, and he kind of knows my personality. So I think he's like almost afraid to even like call me with these questions, but it's like, he's got to ask me them. So like he did like 2 different calls to me yesterday, or he'll just text me. He'll text, cause he knows he can't get a hold of me otherwise. He'll text me, call me when he can. So I'll call him. He's like, hey, I'm sure I already know the answer to this, but for this, we're working with the attorneys, and it's like, they're up for because of the delays, like the timing is up for the lease renewal. And your attorneys wanted to make sure that you definitely wanted to renew the lease on this dental practice that you're buying. And I'm like, well, yeah, no shit. Like I'm not going to buy this existing dental space for the second gen space and not renew the lease. Like, it's just such a dumb question, dumb to sit. And like, I get like attorneys are so wired that way that they have to ask like every single question. I'm like, okay, like, yes, obviously we're going to renew the lease. Like, yes, he's like, yeah, I knew you were going to say that, but like, they said I had to check with you before we like worked on this, process or whatever. I'm like, okay, like whatever. And then later that day, it was like the same thing. He's like, call me when you can. He's like, okay, like another stupid question, but like I have to ask. Like, we're working on the asset purchase agreement, and the selling doctor's like, oh, I've got to make one change there. The fish tank broke, and so I had to throw it away, but it's on the APA. Like, is that okay with you that he takes out the fish tank from the asset purchase agreement? And I'm like literally like laughing. I'm like, yeah, dude, yes, take it out. Like, let's just get this thing like ready to sign. But that's my point. It's like, at work, people will ask you these questions that, literally don't matter at all. But every single one, it's like your brain still has to think about it. Like, you still have to process it. Someone's asking you a question, even if it's a super like dumb sounding question that should have 100% obvious answer, your brain still has to process it and give a response. And it still adds to that decision fatigue. So you still feel like you're making a decision, even though it's like a no-brainer decision. So part of my strategy to help myself avoid decision fatigue is to isolate myself from being asked these questions. So I get it. Like in this circumstance, because I'm the business owner and I'm, my name's being signed on this document, like they have to ask for my permission, essentially. Stupid as that sounded in those two circumstances. But like, I don't want a dentist coming to me to ask me, and I've had dentists like directly come to me and say, hey, I really want to work with this particular dental assistant, or like we've got a doctor who's traveling to do sedation. Oh, I really want this to be my traveling assistant. And I'm like, cool. Why are you texting me this? Like, go to your office manager, regional manager, director of doctor. Like, you've got so many people that you should have texted to tell them that you wanted this. And like, honestly, this should have never even gotten to me. This is not a trunk decision. This is not something that I should even have to like exert any of my brain power thinking about. This is not going to significantly move the company in one direction or another. So that's kind of where that chain of command comes in. And so, I've created this chain of command where like I've got multiple levels of separation from the majority of the organization, And I do think sometimes people in the organization think it's like me, like being antisocial or grumpy or like, wanting to restrict access, like me just being like a dick. And like, that's not the intention. The intention of doing this is so that I can reserve my finite decision-making power for those decisions that really matter. And I mean, it's worked. It's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. There's still stuff that comes to my desk that I'm like, why is this even being brought to me right now? But it's a heck of a lot better than it used to be. So, my advice to all you dental CEOs, aspiring CEOs, growing your practice, growing your group, you need to reserve that ability. So like if you, as a clinical dentist, you can delegate a lot of the decision-making power to your assistants. You don't have, someone's making a temporary crown. You don't have to sit there and think if you want it to be A1 or B1. I'm sorry. Like the dental assistants make enough temporary crowns. They can talk to the patient. They can show them the shades. You don't need to be involved in that decision of if it's going to be A1 or B1 for the temporary crown on that patient. You don't. I'm sorry. You don't. So like you can start as a clinical dentist, delegating some of those decision-making powers to your team. And then like as you grow and have associates and have multiple practices or a large group practice, you can delegate business type decisions to other leaders within the organization so that you can really focus in on the biggest, most pressing problems that are really going to move the needle. You're going to feel so much better. You're going to be so much fresher. You're going to make better decisions if you do that. And so that was really what I had in mind for this episode when I said CEO decision. I don't want to get into too much detail about like the exact decisions that I'm making or like the decisions that have like, I guess like the big picture decisions are the decision to invest in yourself and invest in your company, the decision to take on risk, the decision to accept great opportunities as they come across, the decision to have a abundance mindset instead of a scarcity mindset. Like those are all great decisions that I've made as CEO. But those are really big picture stuff. I more wanted to get into how you approach decisions on a daily basis, both in your personal life and in your business life. And I truly believe there's a wrong way to go about it. So that's kind of what I had in mind for this episode. So.
Awesome. Hey guys, this was a really good episode. I think decision fatigue is real. I think it's something to really think about is how you reserve your decisions and where you apply them. I routinely say to people, and it frustrates everybody, and I say that's not really worth my time. Like I just say that. I literally do.
A nicer way to say that, Matt, is that a leaf problem or is that a trunk problem? And so like my team has heard me say that. I've kind of adopted that phrase, but that me saying that is a nice way of saying that's not really worth my time.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, subscribe, share, and follow.